Yes, he's a good boy. This is the UK Houses of Parliament, the centre of British political life since the 11th century. I met that Matt Hancock here a few years ago when he was the minister responsible for improving the UK's digital infrastructure. I was part of a delegation explaining how developing an optical network in space could help deliver the government's digital goals and give the UK a 10-year lead on the rest of the world. But Matt arrived surrounded by a gang of governmental toadies and was clearly a busy person.
Because I don't have much time. I'm a very busy person.
And as I tried to explain the technology, he cut me off. Yes, he snapped. I get it. Did he though? I don't think so. And in fact, the government went on to throw 400 million quid of the taxpayers' money on a bankrupt satellite business called OneWeb. Now, so far, the return on that investment has been... Hold on, I've got it here somewhere.
Nothing, nada, zip!
Well, Matt wasn't the only UK minister who didn't understand digital strategy. Kwasi Kwarteng, who I also met, didn't get it either. Though to give him his due, he was preoccupied with building his
surprise
budget bomb, which took down the UK economy in 2022. UK governments have never been good at digital technology. For some reason, we thought we'd let the Yanks have that one. And not just during Tory rule. It was, after all, Tony Blair who was in charge during the £12 billion NHS IT disaster. And now he's back, giving the government advice at the Tony Blair Institute for being a self-important twat. Unfortunately, Self-Important Twat's paper on industrial strategy, which is a light read at a mere 11,000 words, makes the schoolboy error of assuming AI exists in a silo, when, as any fool knows, it's actually only effective when installed with a suite of complementary and equally essential virtual digital technologies. Well, now there's a new Oxford University-educated toff in town, Sir Keir Starmer, and it's his Labour government's job to really sort this digital industrial out. Labour have just published a paper, Invest 2035, the UK's modern industrial strategy. It's 28,000 words long. Yes, that's 1,000.
I have read it, you have read it, he has read it, we have all bloody read it.
Which would be okay if it was the strategy, but actually it's just the vision, the libretto to this comic opera, if you will, as well as a request for people to mail in their suggestions as to what the government should actually do now. But who'll respond? Fujitsu, who provided the software at the heart of the UK's post office national disgrace? Or Balfour Beatty, who helped build the UK's deadly digital motorways? Or perhaps it'll be one of the 7 key providers of the NHS IT programme who all kept their billions in fees, even though that project had to be scrapped. There's nothing to stop them. And the UK government still does business with all of them. If anything, the UK's digital strategy is actually getting worse over time. Partly that's due to a change in the culture of our elected representatives, many of whom now see public service simply as a gateway to well-remunerated posts in the private sector. But also it's down to the loss of many of the expert civil service mandarins that used to call the shots behind the scenes. In hindsight, maybe it wasn't such a terrific idea for Boris Johnson to fire 65,000 of them. In the absence of strong government anything, a lot of the decisions over what the UK should do are made not over there in Westminster, but here at clubs like White's in St James's, where gentlemen of a certain age with long titles and a great deal of hereditary wealth sit around drinking exceptionally good house claret, deciding what's best for you and me, but mainly you.
Right, it's better today. Like a giant marshmallow.
Did I enjoy my half hour with Hancock? No. But did we all come away from the briefing that day a little wiser? Also no. We have an extraordinary heritage in this country and many things to be proud of, from the jet engine to prawn cocktail crisps. But our government's digital dyslexia is jeopardising our future. Even the Germans are doing a better job of industrial digitalisation than we are.
The Germans?
and their economy is completely Something needs to change, and maybe, just maybe, Sir Keir is the man to do it. Nah. Actually, what we need is not government white papers the length of Moby Dick, but a simple request for proposal for UK industry sent to the companies in the world that really understand this stuff, including Ericsson, Nokia, and yes, Huawei. In the absence of their feedback, it's just going to be more of that same great British digital dystopia. Come on, boy.